Hello? The first one we are a thunderous cross country, some covering earthquake on was in Airport by ABC News.
We're also tracking this major storm moving into the Northeast next, just as millions begin traveling for the holiday week ahead. More than 100 million Americans tonight now under wind alerts at this hour, gusts up to 70 miles per hour from Montana
really?
all the way east there on the map to New York and right up to Maine. Snow, rain, and damaging winds moving into the Northeast overnight and tomorrow. And here's the system that's coming. Blizzard conditions slamming Minnesota. In fact, a no travel advisory issued for the northwest part of that state. Rain and wind for the morning commute here from Washington, D.C. to Philadelphia, New York, right up to Boston. Sam Champion is here with the forecast and Morgan Norwood with the images tonight.
Tonight, howling wind and snow shutting down interstates as a massive coast-to-coast storm takes aim at the Northeast. All-out blizzard conditions in Brookings, South Dakota. This video shot by storm chaser Justin Franson early this morning. Minnesota State Patrol showing the whiteout on Highway 2 east of East Grand Forks. North Dakota Highway Patrol shutting down Interstate 29 from the Canadian border all the way to South Dakota. In Colorado, the wind flipping at least one plane and damaging several more at Boulders Airport. And where there's no snow, the winds are fueling fires. Overnight, east of Denver, multiple fires breaking out in Yuma, Colorado. Flames tearing across the horizon. And back in South Dakota, this out-of-control fire in Rapid City. Crews scrambling to dig lines and attack the fire with hoses. A nearby television station reportedly forced to evacuate for a time. This same system taking down massive trees and knocked out power to hundreds of thousands in the Pacific Northwest. A new system moving in there, bringing more high winds and rain tonight.
And David, here in New York, we're bracing for wind gusts that could top 50 miles an hour today and tomorrow, which, by the way, is expected to be the busiest travel day of the holiday season. David?
No question about that. Morgan, thank you. Let's get right to Sam Champion tracking it all tonight. Hi, Sam.
Hey, David, it is a busy travel time again. They say records, and we've got two storms on the board. One in the middle of the country, one in the northwest. Look at the wind, rain, and snow involved with both of them. We'll go right to all the watches and warnings that are out across the country, and they really are coast to coast. More than 30 states are involved in some kind of wind watch, warning, or advisory. And look at those blizzard warnings that are in the Dakotas, into Minnesota as well. Watch this cold front. This is the biggest storm on the board, and it's working toward the New York and Washington and Philly and Boston area right in time for rush hour in the morning. Travel depends on some bad rain, but it also depends on the rough winds, and we'll have both of them in this system. Could be anywhere from a ½ inch to 2 inches of rain in this, some kickback snow and the cold winds that come along behind it, and those winds will be 40, 50, 60 miles per hour on the East Coast. Now look at the wind and snow that's back up to the northwest. This is another storm that will move across the coast in the next couple of days. David?
Some rough weather for sure, but always great to have you, Sam. Thank you.
Really well. This one icon subs Mr. Opos at already just was by ABC News.
Severe weather. Severe weather tonight rocking parts of the country and causing ground stops and delays at major airports packed with holiday travelers.
It doesn't look good outside.
More than 52 million people will fly over the holiday, with the busiest days at airports through this weekend, plus just after Christmas. Darlene Del Rosario calls this the nerve center for United flights at Newark.
We're always in planning mode, 24/7 for United Airlines to make sure that our customers get the least impacted. So right now we're looking at these conditions for the rest of the day, high winds, rain for the most part, but we are all set up.
They're grappling with thunderstorms and powerful winds in the Northeast, strong enough to topple trees onto power lines.
Really?
A mix of wind and snow stirring up
That's really
dangerous
fun.
conditions in the upper Midwest. And watch the force of these gusts,
Wow.
turning travel treacherous in Wyoming and making it difficult to see in Colorado, which is facing a rare, particularly dangerous situation alert for wildfire risk as gusts topped 100 miles an hour. Our NBC affiliate KUSA is on the ground in Boulder.
Here's one of those gusts right now. This is what I'm talking about.
Xcel Energy shutting off power to tens of thousands in case more trees and power poles snap, as officials there urge people stay home and off the roads in a turbulent start to the holiday rush.
And Emily joins us tonight from Newark. Emily, we can see all those travelers there behind you. Some of those ground delays are still in effect tonight?
Tom, that's right. Travel's off to a bit of a bumpy start with flight cancellations and delays approaching 10,000 tonight. If you're driving, AAA says your trip time could more than double starting this weekend near major cities like Boston and D.C.
We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.
And this one is, let me see, New Year's Eve, New Nomos marked the debut in Times Square by Eyewitness News, ABC7 New York.
The numerals that will ring in the new year, ready for their close-up. Officials did a practice activation this morning in Times Square to make sure everything's going to be shining bright. You can see that's no problem. The numbers are 7 feet tall and there are 589 bulbs among them. 145 in each of the twos. Why do I need to know this? 164 in the 0 and 135 in the number 6. They'll be at street level through December 22nd, so you can take pictures with them. Then they will be hoisted up and wait for their real close-up when they're lit up, shining bright, midnight on New Year's Eve.
Why am I thinking about the electricity bill? Like, why?
I'm not paying it. I don't care.
That's real.
Literally. This one is 2026 numbers for the New Year's Eve ball drop about in Times Square by CBS New York.
Times Square is already preparing for New Year's Eve with the arrival of the 2026 numbers today. People can also look forward to new attractions to go along with the brand new Times Square ball. Christy Kalishian. and tells us all about it.
Yay! Happy New Year!
Snapping a selfie in front of the 2026 numerals isn't just for tourists. It's close to home for Teresa Hui from Brooklyn, and she's taking full advantage.
I get to watch this like close up. I get to get a picture close up, and it's great. It's awesome.
At 7 feet tall, the numbers contain nearly 600 bulbs, lighting the way to a new year that many here in Times Square are looking forward to.
It just fills me with this feeling of the new year is going to be bright. It's hopeful, it's joyful, and I mean, who doesn't want to see something like this up close?
Speaking of up close, new this year, you can buy tickets to go 20 floors up One Times Square to see the New Year's Eve ball, or get a bird's eye view of Times Square. Delphine Ortiz, general manager at One Times Square.
They can have the view deck only, or they can opt for the ball access experience, which gets them up and closer to the ball, or they can opt to actually purchase a crystal gift that they can take with them.
Ortiz says stay tuned for even more attractions at the once mostly vacant building at the center of it all. That's expected to be open year-round in 2026. The new ball up top has nearly 5,300 Waterford crystals on it, and its theme, infinite joy, infinite light, infinite beginnings. Times Square Alliance President Tom Harris says New York has a lot to look forward to in 2026.
The 250th anniversary of our country. FIFA is going to be here for the year. Op sale. It's going to be an amazing year.
He adds that even more confetti will be coming down this time. And as per tradition, those in Times Square are writing their wishes on each piece.
Well, 2026 will bring love, good health, and happiness to all.
Got a good picture in front of the numerals now before 7 a.m. next Tuesday, when the process begins to take these all the way up to One Times Square to be displayed in front of the New Year's Eve ball. In Times Square, Christy Kalishian, CBS News, New York.
Wow. In this one is a family auto to take down creamy slab sub by Sanus Swala.
But first, Father Christmas doesn't come for another 14 days, but the Christmas Grinch, well, he's arrived early in Melbourne. The Grinch, by which I mean the Hume Council, has ordered a family to take down their Christmas light display, despite the fact everyone in the neighbourhood loves it.
Stephen Jacobs' home is the light of Huron Road, a dazzling Christmas display, but Hume City Council isn't happy.
Well, they're a bit like this Grinch here, eh? Christmas Grinch. They're ruining the fun for everyone. I received a letter in the mail saying I had 21 days to remove my items out the front. Well, it says $9,120 fine.
And if the nature strip feature goes, Stephen says he'll take down the whole display, something neighbours don't want.
Stephen Jacobs' crime? Well, he was given verbal consent but failed to get written permission to have his magnificent Christmas light display extend onto the nature strip. Jacobs said he'd spent thousands of dollars and 2 months putting the Christmas display together after speaking with 4 different council officers about his plans. Well, now he's been threatened with a $9,000 fine if he doesn't pack it all up by December 23rd. Although, Caleb, I'd have to say, the fine would probably be cheaper than paying the power bill.
Well, that may well be true. The bloke's got rheumatoid arthritis as well. So he's gone to a fair bit of effort to do this, and the council has still taken it upon itself to go along and say, you know, take the thing down or you'll be fined $9,000. I mean, we talked about that poor old lady in Ballarat the other night where the council wants to fine her $500 because they don't like that her garden is 40 centimetres larger than it should be or something. They're threatening him with a $9,000 fine because he put some removable Christmas decorations up on a nature strip. I mean, is the council doing anything to maintain the nature strip? In most cases, they do very little with the nature strip. If you ask them to come and mow it, they say mow it yourself. I mean, if he wants to put some Christmas lights on it that brings some joy to some people, why do you slap the bloke with a $9,000 fine?
And the fact that he got verbal confirmation, he consulted with the council, he did everything right. In fact, I would say even consulting with council officers, no less than 4 of them, is actually above and beyond what a normal person would or should do. He's gone out of his way to appease them, but the bureaucrats at these councils Honestly, we talked about it the other night. They need to be studied. Who is it sitting at Hume Council who decided, yeah, this guy who consulted with 4 of us, who got verbal permission, who isn't bothering anyone, let's threaten him with a $9,000 fine unless he takes his decorations down before Christmas Eve.
You know what I don't get about this, right, is that he's been given effectively 14 days to pack it up, which would be 2 days before Christmas. So if you're going to give him 14 days, which goes to December 23rd, why not just give the guy 16 days, 17 days, so he can have it to Christmas and then say, OK, put it away and don't do it again? That would have been the smart move.
Because it's the principle of it. And the principle is that you've just got to be an absolute pain in the backside. That's what the council believes. And he said, by the way, that when he spoke to these council officers, they told him that he didn't need explicit permission, i.e. he was led to believe that he didn't have to write to anyone, that the word he had of the council officers he'd spoken to was enough to say it would be OK to do it, and then they slap him with a $9,000 fine. Honestly, find better things to do with your life. If you're one of the people at Hume Council who has overseen this and has been part of it, look, I'm glad I'm not coming to your family Christmas, put it that way.
Cool. Uh-oh. So this one is disgraceful. 800 tube creamy cow packages sent back by USPS, United States Postal Service.
Carly,
Uh-oh. A nickel.
Carly, a Connecticut nonprofit, Boxes to Boots, looking for answers this morning after more than 800 of their 1,100 holiday care packages supposed to go to U.S. troops overseas were returned. And over 100 of those packages are still missing, with the Postal Service saying they are unable to locate them. The return boxes had the words toiletries pack circled, which was apparently too vague, with more description needed for international packages. President of Boxes to Boots, Kristen Galvin, is here with more to explain ultimately what happened. But before we get into what apparently went wrong, set the stage for us. You gather hundreds of people in your community, you come to the local high school, you fill up these boxes. What's in them?
Anything from the well-known toiletries to protein packs, cereal bars,
Already.
you name it, like 12 different snack bags, and under the weather bags we put in little medical supplies and chicken noodle soup, and just snacks from home. We do movie theater bags that have popcorn and theater-sized candy, just little things we take for granted at home that they miss overseas.
So pretty innocuous stuff.
Yes.
Okay, so you box these things up. What happens next?
So next we brought them to New Britain High School on November 16th, and this year was a record number of boxes, 1,809. Wow. Due to the government shutdown, we brought 700 back for the Connecticut National Guard. They weren't ready to deploy yet, so luckily those are safe in our office, unshipped.
Okay, so did you dot your I's and cross your T's when you were shipping these things out?
My shipping manager, George, spent weeks researching, working with the post office. We thought we had everything perfected. And in some of the language, it's kind of like a union contract where it's interpretation. So we thought even our small boxes of cereal, you had to break it down as to if it was grain or non-grain. So we were so precise and just included the toiletries.
Okay, so what did Customs say?
Well, that's the problem. We haven't gotten an answer. Somehow 300 of the boxes labeled with toiletries, all the exact same, cleared Customs. So someone wasn't doing their job, or maybe there was a shift change. But what's so upsetting and disgraceful to me is every single one of these boxes had my name and phone number on the return information. So if you have 800 boxes there, it's around $8,000 we spent on shipping. Wow. Someone could have took the extra minute to call me and say, hey, we have a huge problem here. Let me tell you what it is. Here's your options. We could have driven to New York or customs, wherever they are, and with our label maker, fix that, and these boxes would have been overseas. And clearly, these boxes are all marked with military addresses. So I would think people, if anything, would bend over backwards for our troops. This is just disgusting.
United States Postal Service providing this statement to us. Quote, we are currently investigating why these packages were returned when customs forms are incomplete or lack the detail needed to meet export compliance requirements. Packages may be returned. But you raised a really good point. Like, your address is on there. They could contact you. They could resolve this problem. And obviously, when it comes to troops, there has been bipartisan outrage with regard to what happened here. What are you asking our president, Donald Trump, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, to do to step in to rectify this?
Well, number one, I'm hoping our political leaders can join together as one to get this figured out. It's a bigger problem where I've heard from four other nonprofits, same thing, where they've shipped for years. Something is clearly wrong this year. And a mom reached out to me last night. Her son is in the service for 10 years and never had a problem. This year, she sent the boxes out twice, $36 a pop, and they were sent back. And she's reporting that her son's unit can't receive Amazon packages. So I'm really hoping that President Trump can perform a Christmas miracle for us and get these boxes to our troops for Christmas, because if we send them U.S. postal mail, they'll never get there. They may get there mid-January, but we have so many boxes still missing. It's an absolute nightmare.
Mid-January is not good enough. And the fact that 300 already did get through says something's wrong on their end. Look, I know we have a lot of viewers that watch this program. If you have the means, the plane, the wherewithal of the Postal Service intricacies, and you can help out not only your organization, but troops around the country, I think, or families of troops around the country would be so appreciative. Kristen Govin, thanks for clearing up what your end says of this situation. Obviously, the Postal Service says their thing. Let's get this solved. Let's get these packages to the troops. Awesome stuff.
I hope so.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Ducey. I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.
What the? The next one is what's up last party muffin laws of B-O-B-L. One more sword. Really? By W. Lux News.
Welcome in. Welcome into WLOX News now at midday. I'm Brandy McGill. We're starting with a developing story. Biloxi police announced today that there have been incidents with razor blades being found in loaves of bread sold at some retail stores. We're learning new information now, and Noah Noble is joining us live with the latest on that. Noah?
Brandy, lots of new information we're learning this morning about razor blades that were shoved into loaves of bread at 2 Walmart locations here in Biloxi. And we're also learning this morning that this has been going on for more than a week, and it has taken Walmart apparently more than 10 days to contact police about this issue. Also new this morning, we're receiving pictures. Check these out that were sent to us from a viewer who purchased a loaf of bread. Let me bring you up to speed on this. Yesterday, Monday, Biloxi police around noon received a call from Walmart here on CT Switzer, the Walmart superstore, that managers have been receiving complaints from customers finding razors in their bread. When workers in the deli went to inspect loaves of bread, they found even more razor blades. A Biloxi police officer showed up, took a report. A little while later, Biloxi police was called again, this time from the neighborhood Walmart on Pass Road in Biloxi, and they reported the same thing, finding razors shoved into loaves of bread. This morning, investigators are combing through surveillance video trying to find the person responsible for shoving these razor blades, and we're also learning that this has been going on for at least more than a week now. Biloxi police telling us that on December 5th, the Supercenter here on CT Switzer had a customer report that they found a razor blade in a banana nut muffin. So this is going beyond just loaves of bread, apparently.
What
Police were not called on December 7th, or excuse me, on December 5th. And then 2 days later, on December 7th, the neighborhood Walmart on Pass Road found a razor blade in a loaf of bread. Still, police were not called. Walmart did not contact police, at least from what investigators are telling us, until yesterday. 10 days since they found the first razor blade in a food product here. Walmart is asking customers who buy loaves of bread to inspect them very carefully before consuming them, or before really, I would argue, even taking them out of the bag. I would be checking them. And it's, while we've only been hearing this from Walmart, it's not a bad idea, because this has happened at 2 different locations, to really be inspecting any food product that you get. And it's just a reminder that we really do always have to be vigilant about these things. I'm going to be speaking to Biloxi Police here in a minute, and we'll be bringing you the latest in the evening news. Live in Biloxi, I'm Noah Noble for WLOX News Now.
Well, first now.
This one is Biloxi police deporting overseas Texas woman in Kentucky in was a place found in bakery items and one more sauce.
Well, first now, new details about a disturbing crime spree in Biloxi that caused a lot of concern on the Gulf Coast.
Now listen to this. Biloxi police say Camille Benson put almost a dozen razor blades inside loaves of bread at 2 Walmarts. Benson is now facing attempted mayhem charges. Our Natalie Williamson is live in Biloxi tonight with the late details.
Natalie, investigators got their break in this case when they released some surveillance pictures.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right, Lenise and Cameron. Shortly after the photos were released, police got tips about who the woman was and where she was. And just hours ago, they tracked her down. Tonight, these terrifying images sending shockwaves across the Gulf Coast. Razor blades in loaves of bread. Investigators say 33-year-old Camille Benson placed multiple razors inside bread at 2 Walmarts. The Walmart Supercenter on CT Switzer and the neighborhood Walmart on Pass Road. Lieutenant Candace Young with Biloxi Police say this unusual crime spree started earlier this month on December 5th when a customer found a razor blade in a banana nut muffin.
Store associates, combed through their merchandise. They couldn't find any other compromised items. Thought, hey, this is just an isolated event.
However, it wasn't. 2 days later, a customer at the neighborhood Walmart found a razor in a loaf of bread. Young says police were not called until more than a week later, after someone else at the Supercenter found razor blades in a loaf of brioche bread.
They did another sweep of their merchandise on display for sale and found multiple loaves of bread that were compromised with razor blades. They also, at that time, found a muffin that had a fish hook in it. Somebody had poked those items through the plastic packaging.
Biloxi police releasing these surveillance photos of Benson early Tuesday, and just hours after they were released, investigators say someone spotted Benson here on Division Street, leading to her arrest. One resident in Biloxi who didn't want to go on camera is wondering what everyone else is. Why would someone do this?
The fact that you even thought about doing that is just insane to me.
Yeah.
We received a statement from Walmart this afternoon. It reads in part, quote, "The health and safety of our customers is always a top priority. We have removed and thoroughly inspected all potentially affected products at impacted stores in Biloxi. We appreciate law enforcement for their swift action and will continue cooperating with them as they investigate." Benson's bond has been set at $100,000. Live in Biloxi, Natalie Williamson, Fox 10 News.
Wow. So this one is, let me see. This one is NASCAR Greg before informally died in North Carolina plane crash. Like
Earlier today, NASCAR legend Greg Biffle and his family sadly are dead after a plane crash this morning at Statesville Regional Airport in North Carolina.
Wow,
We're learning
North
Biffle and his
Carolina.
wife and their children were all on board. The FAA and the NTSB are en route and they are investigating this. So far, we have learned from data with Flight Aware that the plane took off from the airport shortly after 10 a.m., but then it turned around and was actually attempting to land back on the runway. We don't know yet if weather was connected, but the Fox Weather Forecast Center has confirmed that there was a light rain and drizzle in the area. Clouds at the time, could have been limited visibility, low ceilings at the time of the crash. Now, Biffle won 19 races across his 14-year career in the NASCAR Cup Series and was named one of NASCAR's 75 greatest drivers. But his impressive career didn't actually stop when he stepped outside of the car. Greg Biffle actually stepped up during Hurricane Helene to aid in search and rescue efforts. Biffle actually piloted his own chopper over the North Carolina mountains to help rescue people. You're looking at video that he actually took during those rescues. Biffle joined Fox Weather a month after Hurricane Helene to recount his rescue missions. Take a listen to this moment.
We saw this gentleman with a vanity mirror out of his house flashing us, and I was able to catch it out of the corner of my eye. You know, we're flying around at about 60 miles an hour to keep a safe speed from mountaintop to mountaintop, and we were in around looking for him, and I caught it out of the corner of my eye, and then my co-pilot, Aaron, guided me in there. We had to make about 5 recon missions because there's power lines across that canyon with tall trees. I needed to get all the way down in there. It was one of the hardest landings I've ever had to make as a pilot.
And that was a snapshot of him during the rescues. There's reports, of course, that after that, he actually helped return supplies to those areas that were hit hard. Somebody who knew the skies very well. So we're going to continue to lean into our resources here at Fox Weather and talk more about the information that's coming in out of that crash.
What's in peace to Gray in this family? What's in peace? Wow. This one is Greg Biffle. Next account the pretty far in plane crash by innovating tonight.
You want your you want your legacy to be, respect, and you want to treat, my parents always taught me that treat people the way you want to be treated.
Yeah, true.
Greg Biffle, his wife, and 2 kids dead in a tragic plane crash just days short of the NASCAR icon's 56th birthday.
Wow.
When I came in, it was unheard of to hire somebody to drive a cup car that's under 25, 28. It didn't happen.
The Associated Press reports the celebrated race car driver was traveling with his wife Christina, 14-year-old daughter Emma, and 5-year-old son Ryder aboard a Cessna airplane that crashed while attempting to land in foggy weather. While it's unclear whom the pilot was, the plane was owned by Greg, an avid flyer who loved everything about aviation.
I love aviation.
Garrett Mitchell, aka YouTuber Cletus McFarland, a close friend of Greg's, revealed they were on their way to spend the afternoon with us. We are devastated. I'm so sorry to share this. North Carolina Congressman Richard Hudson also paid tribute, writing on X, he was an extraordinary person as well and will be remembered for his service to others as much as for his fearlessness on the track. The Biffles flew hundreds of rescue missions in western North Carolina after Hurricane Helene. The last time I spoke with Christina just a couple of weeks ago, she reached out to ask how she could help with relief efforts in Jamaica. That's who the Biffles were.
Lake Norman Humane, we started that organization years and years ago. We adopt out a lot of animals. So we pull animals mostly from the shelter, and it's
try to find them homes.
Try and find them homes.
Yeah.
Greg's a longtime racing icon whose career started in 1995. He boasts dozens of wins. He's one of NASCAR's top 75 drivers of all time and a nominee for NASCAR's 2025 to 2026 Hall of Fame. He retired from racing in 2016 and dedicated himself to giving back and outdoor hobbies.
I tried to respect everyone as much as I could.
I'm thinking of So, yeah, let me see. Either we do again. Let me double check to see. So it didn't redirect it to cloud control. So go and check them out in drop a like drop a like if you want to see more streams like this one. And subscribe if you're new. Include the bell so you can be notified for me upload and go live.